Scale is the ratio of units on paper to units in real life. A scale of 1/4 inch equals 1 foot means that every foot of the actual model is represented by 1/4 inch on paper. When you're working in Model View, you're working in a scaled drawing environment. To see the scale settings, select View, View Manager. In the View Manager dialog box, the Model View and Drawing Sheet views are listed. As you select a view on the left, the corresponding view properties will appear on the right. Each view will have a scale. For this example, the scale of the Model View is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, or 1:48. This is important to note. If you're importing elements into your Model View, you want to ensure that they match the scale of the model environment. Each of the drawing sheets can also have a scale, and this can be different scale from the Model View. Select Close to exit the dialog box. If you change the scale, your 2D plan does not scale on the model screen. It will only be scaled on paper when you print the drawing. Changing the scale has no effect in 3D views, neither on the screen nor in printouts. This is because a model being viewed in 3D does not have concrete measurements like a flat 2D view has. For this sample model, drawn in the 1/4 inch equals 1 foot drawing environment, we'll insert it onto a drawing sheet at 2 different scales to show you the effect that scale has on the plan. Select a drawing sheet tab at the bottom of the screen to move to that worksheet environment. In Worksheet Environment, select Insert, Smart Views, define a Smart View. In the Insert View dialog box, the 2D floor plan view will appear on the right and the settings for inserting that view will appear on the left. One of the properties is Scale. You can change the scale from the drop-down list. One element that will not change when the scale is changed is the text size, because they are specified in real-world units. For example, if you inserted text that had a 1/2 inch text height setting, the text will be 1/2 inch on paper regardless of the view scale or what the text looks like on the screen. Text is at a consistent height, so all drawings on one sheet look consistent regardless of their scale. You can see this by changing the scale of this floor plan view. As the scale is changed, the text will look bigger or smaller in relation to the scaled floor plan. The text is staying at the same 1/2 inch height, but the scale of the floor plan is changing. Let's insert the plan at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. Select Insert to insert this view. Left-click to place it on the drawing sheet. Now we will insert a 1/2 inch equals a foot to show the difference. Select Insert, Smart View, define a Smart View. In the Insert View dialog box, change the scale to 1/2 inch equals a foot and click Insert. Left-click to insert it beside the first view. Notice that the text sizes are the same. They remain consistent. However, the scale of the inserted view is different. Remember that worksheet views also are scaled environments. This worksheet view is a 1/4 inch equals a foot environment. So if I measure the initial view, it will measure correctly. If I measure the second view, it will be 2 times the size of the measurement since it's scaled 1/2 inch equals a foot, is twice as big as the scaled worksheet environment of 1/4 inch. You could use this to your advantage. If you have a smaller piece of paper and need to print a larger floor plan, you can insert the view at an 1/8 inch scale. I will insert another at 1/8 inch equals 1 foot so we can see the difference when we print all 3 drawings that are at different scales. When a plan is printed, the print can also be scaled if you need it to fit on a page. Select File, Print. The Print dialog box will appear. In the lower left is the Print Scaling section. Currently, it is set to Fit to Page, which means it will take the drawing and scale it to fit it on the size of paper you use. All scale factors set are disregarded. If I click the drop box list and select Print to Scale, it will then use the scale factor from the worksheet environment, which was a 1/4 inch equals a foot, and try to make the drawing fit on the size of paper. With a letter size of paper, this would be impossible to fit on one sheet, since the original title block is 24 by 36, so it shows how to make many sheets and put them together to print it at scale and piece together for a 24 by 36. I, however, can zoom in on one portion of my drawing sheet and only print that section out to scale. In the Print Area portion of the dialog box, it is currently set to All Extent, which means it will try to print everything that is in the worksheet environment. By toggling the drop-down list, select Window and then click the Window button. You are transported back to the worksheet space where you can left-click and then left-click again to form a window around the portion of the model you want to print. For this example, window around the plan that has an 1/8 inch scale. Back at the Print dialog box, the preview window shows the view and it will fit on the page to scale. That view was altered when it was inserted on the page to be 1/8 inch, so it will fit on the smaller paper size to print. Now if we wanted to, we could adjust the scale of a view so it can be printed. In the Print area portion of the dialog box, click the Window button. Back at the worksheet, window around the 1/4 inch equals a foot floor plan view. Back at the Print dialog box, the preview window shows the view and it cannot fit. It's too big. That floor plan at 1/4 inch equals a foot scale is too big for the letter size paper. It's trying to print out 2 pages to make it work. In the Print scaling portion of the dialog box, I can adjust the print scale to make it fit on the paper at a scale. It will adjust it to the entire view, including the text size to an alternate scale. Adjusting it to an 1/8 inch scale will allow it to fit on the paper, but remember this will affect the size of the text too. You can create your model at any scale and insert it onto the working drawing sheets at any alternate scale that you need to fit it on the page you will ultimately be printing. Remember that the text size will remain consistent regardless of the inserted scale. The only time the size will change is if you adjust the scale in the Print scaling portion of the Print dialog box. I hope that makes your work easier.